Hi guys, my name is Freddie Blue. My birth name is Frederick Lamont Blue. I go by Freddie Blue, and I want to welcome you to the Release Room. I want to talk about this is my very first one, but I did do a video containing how I was branching um, out to come to YouTube land. But I want to talk about the R. Kelly incident, and I have been watching a lot of videos regarding this situation. Um, so first, I'm going to take at least a couple of seconds or so just to kind of drill myself in here and to bring in a presence that will allow me to um, to connect with the right people and to connect with people who could sincerely hear what I'm saying. So let's do a moment. Let's have a moment for that first. All right, thank you. So here we go. All right, so let's talk about this R. Kelly thing. And I'm going to not so much go directly into the situation, nor am I going to speak about any of the incidents that has been over the internet for the past weeks or so. I'm not going to go in specifics. I'm just going to remain in a balance, so I'm able to allow people to see the surface of this type of event that occurred. Okay, first, let's just say this. First, we are in a universe that will allow you to see things that are hidden. And and hidden in a way where people um, are not saying something, but then yet something is living and diminishing a spirit. So the universe will reveal that. And I want to say that to say that because in this universe that we live in, even though R. Kelly's situation has somewhat slowly, slowly risen to the surface, if we think about it, and if we think about it very deeply, we can reference a lot of these same actions that have taken place, um, either prior to R. Kelly's information coming out with his survivors, and or while. And that's just the universe speaking. That's the universe saying that I will not allow in my universe such actions to be taken towards people that are diminishing and diminishing to their spirit or what have you. So the universe speaks. Universe speaks. The issue that we have is this, and I sometimes have it too. I don't always have it, but sometimes I have it. I'm a work in progress, like most of us. But sometimes we see it and we don't say anything. And so my question to you guys would be, if you see it and you don't say anything, how much are you enabling what's actually happening? One, I don't believe in breaking down a person that's already seemed to be lost. I just don't personally believe in doing that. I don't think it makes the situation better. I don't think that we are able to learn about the experience, nor do I think that we are able to clearly see how to refine a way to make sure that it doesn't happen again, or that we decrease the ability of it happening. I believe that. So, same with R. Kelly, I like the fact that they have the title. surviving R. Kelly. Because if we define the word surviving, it's a very powerful word. I mean, we all can go back and look at ways that we have survived and didn't realize that we was actually surviving it. But then we all can look at that path of survival, and some of us was able to at least speak on during the process of how we were surviving it. I myself had to survive some things in my life. Being the person who I am, I had to survive it. Did I come out publicly on YouTube to talk about it? Did I speak to my closest friends about it? Did I speak to my parents about it? Did I speak to other people's about it? I really didn't. I didn't. I didn't confine in anyone when I had to survive such tragics of life and such unexpectedness of life, be it via from another race or same race or what have you. I didn't talk to anybody about that. So I can understand why the survivors never came out wholeheartedly to talk about it. Now, I will say I talked to my higher power, but I haven't heard these guys who survived saying, "Hey, I was praying, I was meditating when I had a moment, I was doing all types of, something to survive." I haven't heard that, and maybe I need to stroll the internet a little bit more, but I just haven't heard it. Um, and so saying that to say that surviving is a powerful word. It's a powerful word, and I'm glad those guys did survive. But at the same time, we need to reach and listen to our universe because our universe speaks to us. And so when things as this nature come out, we're no longer surprised. We're not surprised by what happens in this world. We're not surprised of the people like to hide things. And if you dig deeper in your life, you realize that you're probably hiding something too that's not allowing you to be who all you can be, but yet you're surviving. So we all hide something. Is it as dramatic or as incriminating as what these R. Kelly was hiding or allegedly hiding, or anything these girls were doing? I mean, what were you hiding? And like I said before, I don't like choosing sides. I don't like to say, "Oh, R. Kelly was wrong. He shouldn't have done that. He should have did this. Why did he do that? Oh, he was molested." I don't like choosing sides because when you're just there's there's a way where moments where people connect, and they connect sometimes in a positive realm of ways, and then sometimes they connect in what they would call a negative realm of ways. And so when you do that, is when you decide to connect, when you decide to use an energy force that allows you to connect to something that is very unknown to you, you have to take some type of responsibility for that. Now, I'm not saying that you should be responsible for what that person did, but you have to take responsibility for that. You have to own up to why, what, when, where, and how you became available to draw your energy to that energy. And we can leave R. Kelly out of that episode, out of that moment. What in you drew you to the energy? What drew you to it? Because if you don't connect with those elements, which is the what, when, where, how, if you don't connect with those, you may not experience the same thing that you experience with the surviving R. Kelly moment if you're a survivor, but you're going to experience more of something of a difference until you define, why am I being drawn, or why do I draw myself to energies that diminish the spirit, the humanistic body that I have? Why am I drawn to that? I think R. Kelly would have his issues. He would have how he has to define himself, how he has to um, see the same ways of how he become what he became. Um, and I didn't watch that. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because I felt that when you put things like that on television, you're giving it more of a reverence. You're giving it more of a substance. And I don't like giving things like that substance if both parties are not willing to define why it was created. So I'm saying that to say that, we have to be very mindful in whom we connect with. We have to be very mindful of once we connect with someone, is it something that's going to allow me to grow? We have to be mindful of just different elements that affect your ability in this spiritual, humanistic world. You have to be mindful of that. If you guys are watching it, kudos to you. I say not to give it energy. Why would you give it energy when here it is. This is why I took the 5 minutes. This is why I took those seconds. Why would you give something energy when the wholeness is not there to explain that energy? Good example. When the sun comes up, it comes up. The sun really generally don't have to explain to the sky that I'm coming up. The sky already knows it. The stars know it. The moon know it. The trees know it. Anything that the sun will affect on a daily when it rises, the elements that it affect, they know it. They know it. Saying that to say, when these guys are rising up, all these survivors are rising up, everything that is going to affect what they're saying don't know the true meaning of why they're rising. Because everything that was collaborated inside that situation is not rising together. You guys get what I'm saying? If you don't get what I'm saying, write something in the comments. I can go a little deeper in the next video. But when you decide to rise up about a situation, you have to rise in a way where all of what you're talking about rise up with you and understand where you are going with your rising up. You have one or two of the survivors that are rising up, put it this way. You have other ones who are surviving and not saying anything. You have R. Kelly that's not saying anything. If you're looking to make a stance about this situation and you're looking to make a stance of how the outcome will be, you have to wholly rise up. You can't halfway rise up. You can't take half of a whole and decide to rise. When you put a cake in the oven because you want a whole cake, you can't leave half the cake outside the oven and put the other cake in the oven and look for the same results. And I know most of you probably saying, oh, but they had to speak out. They had to say what they had to say. They gotta bring reverence to it. It's gonna fall to deaf ears. Of course you're gonna get a lot of people who's going to hear it. We live in a meteor world. So everyone's gonna be hearing it. But in order for the universe, because that's what I speak upon, to correct it and diminish it and to bring more reverence to it, it all has to rise together. Can't rise by itself. The entire situation has to rise together. I'll give you another example. You had a relationship. Oh, no, let's not say that. Let's just do this. You had you're in the middle of a divorce. Your husband, cheated or whatever, you cheated, vice versa, but you in the divorce, right? And you're in the divorce, and you're going through what you have to go through, whether it's with a child, whether it's with material stuff, whether it's with you, what have you. It's all of that comes as one when you have one divorce. So you have all these elements that come together for that one moment. When they come together, guess what happens? They reach an understanding and they divide. That's just like this story. That's just like this R. Kelly story. They all have to come together. And not come together to be all, ha, 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 ha. Not that come together. All come together are not, it's ultimately for a good cause, but it's not always a laughing moment, if you will. And with the R. Kelly thing, it's like you have 5 that came together. You have 2 you have 5 that are behind that 5 that's going through the same thing that the first 5 went through, but they decide not to come together to discuss it. And then you have R. Kelly, who's probably have 5 people with him, right? So you have R. Kelly, 4 people on the side that know what happened. If R. Kelly and those people don't come together, they can't mirror with the 10 that survive and are surviving. I hope that you're able to see that. I wasn't going to speak on the R. Kelly situation. I didn't want to start out this is called the release room, where I want to release my thoughts about whether it's current events, whether it's something personal. I want to release my thoughts into the atmosphere, and I wanted it to go out in such a way where it at least touch one person. I'm not looking for 1.2 million viewers, 20,000 viewers. I'm not looking for all that. That's not my goal. My goal is to look for one. Just one person. One person that I can touch in regards to how I see things, and allow a conversation to open up, to allow that person to have the ability to not just see their side, to allow that person the ability to not just see the other side, but allow that person the ability to mirror both sides together, to get a clear understanding, and be able to move forward. That's my goal. I'm going to tell you guys now, because I know you probably see me tearing up. There's going to be a lot of crying on here, because crying cleans the soul and allows you to move forward. So I want to say to all the guys who's connected with the story, connected whether you're a victim, whether you're a mom, whether you're a dad, whether you're a sister, whether you're a brother, whether you was a band member, whatever role you had in that, I want to say to you guys is that until 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 you come together as one, not in one to be partaking in the same activities, but until you come mindfully in one, you're actually just allowing energy to fall to deaf ears. And I pray that you come as one to really, really tell the truth, to really allow each and every person to tell the truth. And if somebody's not ready to tell the truth, if somebody's not ready to be totally honest, I ask that you go into your secret place, release what you have out in the universe, and to push them, have the universe push them and push them and push them until they're ready to tell it. Because the universe has all the power. I love you guys for watching. Take care. Surviving R. Kelly. I'm not watching it, but you guys can.